Yedie. But mami ko Fiifi ho na mini Fiifi eni nkomo. Wono eye economist na yem breaki nkomo a yedi ni nyina no down to your basic understanding. Na onso Ghana ni no you fairly appreciate the challenge any situation a baby a yaba bedu say as a country no in terms of our monetary terms. Fiifi, what we call good morning. Bibi aboko there.
Good morning, Mr. Unkafa.
Erade de yam kwa che very well. I don't pay you that say wagie. So it's first of all, baby I yedru say no. And draw finance minister say the arrangement, negotiations, any kasa ni nkomodi a yene IMF edi ni nyina no. It is centered around 7 major pillars. Say the edikan yebehwe say yebenya debt sustainability, your fiscal stability no ebeba yebetimi ahwe say yebenya economic growth as part of program a yeba beko into no baby ayadru say no edie na say aban no eye in terms of this negotiations ayene IMF consult.
Okay, but that's first of all, no, one of the things I would say, aban ehwe, say I would say you let me renegotiate interest rate on debt now. You want the interest rate on debt now. Most of the for Ghana, especially this credibility when it comes to borrowing. And, interest rate now. Or problem with whether Ghana can pay within the possible time of their mind. Say to me, those economists, but view. And say so make me I restructure your interest rate now a die loan if possible in the form of say so make me cry my say in the form of say grant. Say why because of you bet my excuse of via COVID or anything of Ukraine war. Then I say make me at a interest rate in Scramaya, because one of the things the IMF bet me consider in giving us or anything possible as soon as possible whether you bet me or a loans now you bet me as soon as possible. And also no and yes so possible as it be against the CI. It's one of the things I was buying yes with CI and it's also to me a man mind transfer. Loans that you say bit me as structure interest between the national need to make channel fast. That's two. I will say when me buying cons and as I buy renegotiate all the flagship policies now they buy now in a way we wanted to be very famous, One of them is free SHS. I also buy reconsider that I will see it to me go into it and restructure this anything free in the economy. It's not bad, but to see an amount or buy a minor we are in a position I will see it to me it's one of the things I say or structure all the flagship programs. One major one is free SHS and other ones. Another thing I say buying so and that one will also convince IMF say, oh, we are serious and we are in for business. The next thing I was buying say I will say to me be a productive sector. For instance, also to me entrepreneurs are almost they are buying entrepreneurs, but entrepreneurs, but they don't have enough capital. I will say are buying F in a way so that those entrepreneurs not necessarily say it's car, but entrepreneur here and in the international frontier. I will say about to me name the ultimate access not all global because I say I buy ABA entrepreneurship entrepreneurs now. What will happen is I buy I am very convinced say okay now I buy or shifting the budget issues of budget and as the issues of expanding also shifting some to the individual private sector. And remember my if I am convinced enough say then go forward you describe more at least yeah buying one but private sector make me public sector to go forward. One more thing so also about I would say or structure wages and salaries. Okay. One of the things is I would say wages and salary Ghana that as last year we were using close to 6% of the raw revenue to pay wages. What that means is that and yet Obia and you trying a car or deserve it and yeah 1 or 2 and you Obia so or this car or be or tiasi obi more so much salary. I would say I buy a share side and say obey me expenditure from the wages and salary. I say uncle the think of physical so no.
Mm.
But also making sure that Scabia air could be or ye humano, truly or ye humano. So yes, Anna, IMF will be convinced. Okay, then Ghana, this is one way Ghana air expenditure so because the problem in higher spending,
Yeah.
they're spending too much than they to me receiving. You know, so or to me, yes, Anna, it's convinced IMF that okay, so you discover we can come one already expenditure on more so they can use this well and they'll be able to pay those that they are owing them. So these are things that are buying, including the audio acquirement.
But interestingly, one more idea more canoa. We have to go into negotiations with we are told, sir. The external creditors, one more ya Jessica, one more free amanane, okay? Abrochiri for aboy bosiane ade ne nyina no. If you consider eno na wo hwe de yaje o Ghana hanso a, what we have secured in our country no, far more higher than the yaje externally. In that sense, you know, as I see engage a fearful no, the creditors home, the impact on it, no, financial sector, no, in its entirety, will have to go through some level of negotiations with the government of the day. Yes, how do we do these negotiations to an extent to say any negative effect within the financial sector?
Yes. Okay. Very good. Very good question. You know, first of all, that's true. Internal borrowing, you know, more.
Yes.
But one thing is, you do stage here. I was say a buying, and also earlier a buying yes, so which me as survey even domestic debt first. So the earlier a buying was not including the other internal sectors. You know. After the COVID, now a buying became very close to them. So what we can do is say, we say. A buying almost as a would you be can as a one thing I say we say woman one will try man exemptions maybe tax cuts even though you're home but tax cuts be also even do or mine too much some of the things you can give the person subsidies a little bit subsidy obey to me also no home so court table no so say if you go back to the table say even though you're democrat more stretch a payment so long so that we can yes we at the same time a bit trying to crack or better but I buy person court table so these are the things you have to also share what are the things what are the
I buy individual creditors, you know, for instance, say a commercial bank, and I buy this free where I buy a little bit of tax relief. Said I buy into yes, you can into also as a company, no, exactly.
Exactly.
But if the domestic creditors, one more yajibosiano, one more internally, no, no, say one more refuses, one money I buy back a dream chromo, okay? What would be the other measures, the other alternative? I buy a bit to me, I take it, I bet to me, abua.
If so, no, they are not. They don't. As a businessman, most of the time, most will not even agree because looking at the almost going forward and buying how to pay will be difficult. What one of the things I buying, I was buying immediately, and say also to me ABA also to me including more private sector without not being more intensive, capital intensive. Yes, to be more capacity because we need. But also to me including more private sector and also be events and productive sector. And you know, for instance, I buy to me. I can say, okay, or BRA or you to be or person or CEO or willing to do more voluntary this and you come up. We the government will lead them to the various sectors on to me EMRA and at the various endpoints on to me the businessman. We will lead them and assist them in a way. We will not take anything. We will not partner with them. It's a public-private partnership, but they lead you to enter and they should just produce to open the productive sector. When that happens, then if I buy the castle and production sector is growing now, the economy will still go on, even whilst you look at alternative measures to solve the domestic debt. That is the major thing I buying to me here because you see, a bank cannot do anything major with giving out money to the this thing. So what you can do is that also to me, it should come forward as in the form of voluntary. Then he will use his executive power to open those standpoint doors for them. Then they can produce to open up the economy.
Yes, but when you any measures, in the medium to long term, no, a bit me take effect. But we are looking at measures a bit me about for the short term. Especially in the last quarter of this year, and they see the first quarter of a fair year, Baba be common. And only a measures a be adequate. Say a buy bit me, and then what to say a bit me a year, Juma to push in our economy.
Yes, that measures near medium term. These are short-term measures. I want to say that's what Ghana we have been doing over the years to pump in money, pumping dollars into the economy to stabilize. But a short-term one, you know, what will happen is fine. I buy come out right now. There's an issue at hand. Now, started with the medium term. One of the medium term measures, rather that one. And taking when we are able to stabilize with the medium term now, then even next year, let's say January, February, March, we will be able to reap the results of what we are coming to do now. Then, I will start. I hold throughout into the next 2-3 years. Then, whilst we are still solving the other domestic issues, and it may be better than two, because one of the short term is I bet me compare dollars to pump into the economy to stabilize it first, or
yes, I don't know. There's a that because the Afro Exim Bank facility I $750 million, and no Abba Finance Minister Andra said by August last month, and he received his Asikano. Was also making indications syndicated loan for cocoa board. One more share him says Asikano so ebetimiaba as we go into the major crop season. And I don't know Sika ebeba just to support the dollarization. Then the Akika Kahunina, but in terms of firm stability. Now you see the no ahoɔden betimi apagya biem. Yes, that is what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And no, that's where so this one will not be more of a short, even that one, this one that billions of cities now it won't so much because right now on the issue of exchange rate polarization or exchange rate issues is boiling down to what's the name, the trading. The trading issues, exchange rate issues, Ghana is not the matter of import and export, and it's theory. Okay. What is happening right now? The fact that some bureau is playing semantics with the dollar and the cedi. So when they can hold the cedi, a lot of people are holding the dollar because the cedi is so they hold the dollar as it becomes the dollar comes in shortage from the outside. Demand, there's extra demand on the dollar that is putting upward pressure on the price of dollar to rise. Then the exchange rate a dollar and air higher than the cedi. It's from the banks. It doesn't have anything to do with export import. From the bank. So what will happen? If the Bank of Ghana is chasing those in the black market, and good. But the whole thing is there was a person sorting out the issue of exchange rate polarization or exchange rate spread now. What we can do is say, I would say, too many banks, I say a Bank of Ghana should stand on its feet. And any, those that they will come and change the dollar, change the cedi. I would say to me, find a way. If we will not allow people to open extra dollar account immediately. Those ones are the permanent, or those ones are taboo ways of solving the dollar cedi issues. What I say, but not pumping money into the economy. I don't know. It will come back again.
I say, but Fifi, on the other hand, labor unions, as make agitation. For instance, UTAG, I issue statements, research and book allowance, as I buying woman for some time now, and these are some demands, and also because into the coffers of the government. Already now, when the labor front begins to make such demands, how will it affect negotiations buying any IMF, SCCA?
Okay, and the whole thing is that issue of book allowance now, once you take almost you have group you understand, and most economists around yet CSA of mine from the deeper side we are under debt distress. Yet one thing I was buying the issue of UTAG and the government issue of credibility and trust.
Yes.
I buy before time. I buy a promise. We won't and now, mama, what I would advise is that rather I buy. I was so be clear. UTAG say this is the issue. Yes, a kasaka but it's not. This is the you show us. This is the issue, and this is the time we can pay on truth on grounds, and this is the time we can pay. because they almost promise since January, almost promises September they will clear all those things, but until September, but nothing has happened. It's also almost created that credibility and trust in there. Now, almost hold on a little bit the UTAC issues because I buy trust me, I buy into me UTAC all the research allowance at the same time solve Ghana's debt issue I faces here and yet possible. And so I buy BMT as a UTAC, this is the issue, but you can pay at this time so that I buy focus on issue of debt restructuring all those processes.
But baby, I'm a concern kakra wo. You need the honorable John Jinapo Edi in commercially and sana wo basui. He makes an indication, sir. Even with the external debt, no, it can't be honoma fanka ho yet. For instance, sika ye from a year Sino-Hydro in China. And the agreement was that the bauxite no ye collateral na yaji $2 billion the ababe infrastructural projects near the acquiring the now we are told per indication that the honorable Jinapo the mine is Sino-Hydro deal no bauxite na ye collateralize no entimi nye juma in that sense no $2 billion a ye free Sino-Hydro a ye gusu a ye no say no as you're making a part of your debt a ye wadada in that sense no the estimation no ebe say your debt to GDP ratio no ebe almost 100%. Na afi external ade so ababa be balloon. Now when we add all these things a car did that one anke fisi ye betimi afa kwan bi so abiti no ye de nyina no eba be ka ho a then it means say your situation no worse of yentimi enyina no.
That's true. I want to say na make can say the various Ghanaian economy is under pressure and stress because of the debt that is ongoing. Now, I think I don't know if I make a Sino issue of Sino-Hydro. I was thinking it was in a rush. It was in a rush because also, even though we are an issue of debt distress, but and I think we are entitled to because of you are in stress, debt distress. No, what I say. So I foresaw that coming. Say it won't be an upright deal, but it will help us permanently, and it now will become worse off. The debt to GDP ratio already is ongoing, is ballooning, and by the end of December it will even cross 100% than as the case of China and Co. It will cross 100% because in December there will be coming to be a lot of pressure on inflation.
Yeah.
And as inflation balloons because of the issue of demand supply issues, as inflation balloons, what will happen is that there will be more stress on the exchange rate because the foreigners are coming to spend the dollars in the domestic economy, and that will make it worse off. And we should even expect worse than what we are coming to see heading to 100%. I must tell you. What I say.
There seems to be no hope, sir. In the interim, no, you bet me any measures be I bet me a because Christmas festivities and so ever.
Yes. So for the short term, I must be very frank with you. This is one of my radio stations. I must be frank with you that as for the short term, there is no hope for the short term. What we are all doing in the short term is try and error. But for the long term, medium term, we can do more of the opening up of the economy, open the economy through the private sector. Government is shook now; their hands are tied. So you say, long term, even a medium term, which is January going after December. I will see it to be starting something now, and that thing, one of them is giving the power. You will say, entrepreneurs willing, those who are willing, entrepreneurs are more willing. That they want support. They will give them you should include them into governance. Now, empower them through opening up government. They have a lot of areas they can easily lead these entrepreneurs. Normal start will be some have their own money, but they don't know how to start. Baby, appreciate their goods. Government and warm. Normal expand the economy. Now, you use that sector and grow economy.
Okay.
After that, then we can look at the long issues of debt and all that.
But with all that you are saying, the Finance Minister Andra, he disagrees. He believes in the short time, but we will come out of it successfully. Now, he also gives a promise. Say one more share between now and then November 15th, you be kind national budget for 2023. No, government must have secured a program with the IMF. Sika ye share nim no ebi na the first tranche of that amount, ebetimi about to support us. The question then is how early or how soon, how quick Anna aban ebetimi undergo some negotiations in with our creditors, and then for IMF to have the belief say baby aye drone there one more discover ya yebetimi atua on time no more my problem.
Yes, I want IMF coming in on the yes, his honorable
Yes,
honorable. He is in affairs, he can speak with facts, but I don't doubt that. But maybe the say IMF is Kebia. It is when Omaya sure say Ghana domestically, we can even our plans cut down expenditure, and we can also service part of our internal and external debts. And only issue IMF no money is kind of a problem. But no person sure say those things you bet me as sustain for a while. Or is expecting to be that fully, but partially to serve as a trust. Our Ghana have discovered more and those things we are looking at January, February because Ghana this year share how our normal corner. Me doubt to say I give it to me. I created that kind of credibility by the end of it because December is a problem. December coming right now, it's an issue. And to me, January, February, yes, that one after the December. Make sure that then IMF should be able to release it based on compassion. They should be able to at least release the money to us. Now again, so no size can be do. I want to say, can be do Ghana even and yet immediately now want to be policy lax. Maybe just immediately now then the policy start being effective. Can be do it was spend spend about 3, 4, 5 months.
Okay.
Before you win the effectiveness of that policy now. Honorable, with the Economist, so definitely share Ghana part to IMF solution now. Share any account to call 7-8 months.
Which is 2023.
But
the promise you bet me na 2023 budget as it will be read on 15th November ebe my guidelines ebe my some level of hope with the IMF program and no possible.
And to me it's feasible unless government will other external sources. But say IMF has some plan here I doubt.
I see. Now, the minority is saying the government must be open and transparent in engaging stakeholders, especially people like yourself, more into academia. No, what are your best suggestions? Finance Minister near buying bit me at the year Juma as part of the negotiations.
Yeah, one of I think that's on the right path. I would say they are doing government they are doing well. Sometimes they come around to engage and all that. Some come to our offices, but one of the things I would say what I can push forward in engagement with engagement and say I would say anything that has to do with and I say I buying go into this IMF which also my IMF say Ghana we are already in distress. You shouldn't create any higher platform for IMF. Wrong. When you go into discussion like that, because we are all intellectuals. So when they come forward, say, our government, we are already okay. That there was a little bit issue of COVID-19, which worried us. What will happen is IMF expect that within a short time you can solve those issues of COVID. It shouldn't be anything that worry because the economy is already robust. Into the issue of COVID, and I see that it's something small choices now that will solve it.
Okay.
So when he's giving you the money, you expect solutions to be in a short to medium term. All solutions be in the long term. Meanwhile, to say, even right now, Ghana issues, it doesn't have to do with only issue of COVID-19 impact. Then he said Ghana issues already debt GDP a balloon already. You have within the short time you have solved debt GDP issue. We have to solve economic and production sector issues.
Okay.
We have to solve infrastructure issues. And I was buying ASO playing with IMF when it comes to the state of the economy. That's what I would advise government.
Fiifi Ocansey, I'm grateful for your time on Kessben.
Medase Famina, Mr.
Medase, and Fiifi Ocansey is an